Huh. Slow on the draw today.
Morning.
Hey, Charlie.
That was me that rang your phone this morning. I was starting to panic that the link wasn't working, but I think the link was fine. It was just too early.
Oh, well, there was no message. So we
No, I didn't know that.
figured it was a crank call. So there's not a stampede of people joining this one. Where is everybody?
That was my question earlier, and I had told the speaker that the best way to get on was the link on the website. And when that didn't work for me, I panicked. So, but all's good now. I think it'll fill up shortly.
Really, the link didn't from the website didn't work, huh? I used one that Lori had sent out, and then I put it in my recurring meeting thing. So that's what I've been using.
Your voice is very soft, and my volume is up. Are you got your mic volume down?
Well, let's see. Yeah, the microphone is the webcam, and that's what I've been using. Well, you'd be happy to know your voice is coming through loud and clear, so that's good. Says the meeting's being recorded, so do you record them?
No, I didn't turn it on. I wonder if it's a automatic thing that Lori did.
Well, we're in before the hosts.
Funeral, but he did take the time to spread a right-wing conspiracy theory on Twitter. A protester who was shoved to the
Now we get to hear the news. Oh. I don't know, where's our dear leader?
Yeah, that's a shitty video this morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Trying to figure out my background here. Oh, a crappy video. Super fuzzy.
Yeah, usually it's pretty good.
I wonder what's wrong with that video. Huh.
I saw a headline that Apple's gonna switch to its own source of CPUs for its Mac computers now for next year, away from the Intel.
I know.
Intel is the one they're using now.
Macs are good.
Is the processor they're using now an Intel one?
Yeah. Yeah, and it turns out Macs are great for running Windows. It's like lightning. You can boot up with either operating system if you want.
And isn't the underlying operating system for the Mac, isn't that Unix, a version of it?
The operating system for the Mac? It's Unix, yeah, not Linux, but Unix. Slightly older ancestor had their own development stream for Mac.
There we go. That's a little better. It's just the three of us?
No, I'm here.
People are popping in.
Good
There's our
morning,
dear leader.
everybody.
Oh, there's our leader.
And I have a guest.
You do?
Hello,
Wow.
Barbara.
How is everybody?
Awake.
Very good, thank you.
Awake?
Bruce.
I want to see it. Oh, there we go.
I gotta go.
He's in Nevada. I heard they opened up the casinos.
Yeah, they've opened up. Not the way they used to be, but they've opened up. The Rotary Club of Sparks normally meets at the Nugget, but they probably won't be having their in-house meetings until the end of June.
Have you been to their Zoom meetings already?
Yeah, every day, every week. They meet Wednesday.
I don't think so.
Wednesday is Rotary Day.
Are they, there's noon?
Yeah, I think it's not a morning club, I remember. Helene has drawn the line.
There is a morning club and it meets much closer, well, not much closer, 5 miles closer to here than the noon club meets, but I drew the line on no more morning clubs.
I don't
Oh,
blame
okay.
you. You still gotta come
You.
here and meet us.
Yeah, I know. I'll be back. I'm getting my coffee.
Okay. You got a haircut too, Bruce.
Well, I've had that for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the tenants in one of the office buildings is a hairdresser, and of course, they shut down right away. And my daughter, who's managing the properties, got to know her.
Hi,
pretty
y'all.
well. And she came in and I had a haircut, Elaine had a haircut, and Victoria had a haircut.
okay.
You're lucky. Mine is so long, it's making me crazy. Steve has to trim it in the back.
Yeah.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Nancy.
morning.
Hi, Joyce.
Good morning,
Good
all.
morning.
Hey, Jerry.
Good morning.
Morning, Jerry.
Hi there.
Happy.
How was your presentation at Rona Park Katati yesterday?
It went very well. Went very well. Actually, Ibrahim joined us, and I've invited him to our meeting this morning as well. So
Good.
Nice background, Joe.
from Uganda.
Wow.
He was actually driving in his car while he was watching the.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Morning, Joe.
Good morning, President Lori. How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, Joe.
Had a girl.
I'm not president
Good
for too
man.
much longer.
She's a short timer.
Boy, I guess so.
Yeah.
Time
I
flies
know,
when you're having
June.
fun.
What in the world happened? How can it be June already?
Yeah, I know.
It is June already. It's
June 10th.
halfway through.
I know.
And I almost had to have the furnace on.
Today?
No, when it was cold.
Well, yeah.
That's why people are getting sick. One day it's 100 degrees and the next day it's 60.
Yep.
So you go from the air
Mother Nature's having hot flashes. Give her a break.
Cute.
Today's my granddaughter's 6th birthday.
Oh,
And I'm going to go see her this weekend, which will be the first time in 6 months.
Oh my God.
I know, crazy.
She's probably grown 3 inches.
Yeah.
And sass. There's
Oh.
sass.
That's the best thing about Facebook. You get to follow your family, so you're kind of like there. So you can see all the stuff that's going on. Okay,
Oh, I won't sing.
you're not gonna sing?
No, because that would check.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll mouth.
She's gonna mouth
I'm
it.
gonna lip sync.
Barbara's gonna lip sync.
Are you two guys together?
Yep,
Yep.
Wow, that's cool.
yep.
Well,
Lori's
See, we look
office?
like split faces here. This is her gonna watch thing. Don't give me the 2-finger things above my head.
it's a family tradition.
Are you 6 feet apart?
We are.
Absolutely.
It's a optical illusion, and I did check her temperature before she could come in the building, so
Okay.
we're all good.
I was alive.
I'm at work, so
I can tell.
yep. How can you tell? I've got the Rotary background
No, I
behind.
can tell she's alive because
Oh,
Ah.
It was that obvious, huh?
Yeah, even this early in the morning.
Good morning, Helene. You're on your own computer.
Good morning, Helene.
Morning. Hi, Bruce.
Are you in separate ends of the house?
Oh, actually, we're,
Separate, different rooms. Different rooms?
yes,
Mm-hmm. That probably keeps things nice in your household.
it doesn't help, Lori. It doesn't help at all.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I don't know. I have my computer room and the husband has the other room, and we're fine that way.
Steve goes out to the shop.
shop.
He's doing body work on the T-Bird. He's stripping paint. Keeps him out of trouble.
Yep. My husband's favorite words are, "Yes, dear, you're right, dear. I'll be out in the garage."
And then he has to follow that with, how could I have been so stupid? I'll never do that again.
He would never say that, but he's probably thinking it. Oh, too funny.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Dan, I have another mask for you.
Good morning,
Oh,
Dan.
fantastic.
Yep. I was trying to clean things up and found another one of your patterns on one of your t-shirts, so I cut it out for you.
Are you still doing-
Awesome. Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta get you t-shirts.
Yep.
I don't know, Lori, who you're talking to, but I would sure love to get a mask from you too.
Well, you know where my office is. You can come and look. I've got probably 25 here right now.
Wow.
And I made this weekend, I think 50. And so the majority of those are going to go to the Navajo Nation in Arizona because they're in a mess.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So anyway,
Didn't I just read that Arizona's the one that opened up too soon?
well, this is the Navajo Nation, so they're their own little thing. Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yep.
No, Texas and Georgia both are having surges of cases, hospitalizations. Gee, what a surprise.
Patrick, be careful. You got something on your shoulder there.
Save me, everybody.
Oh, you need the exterminator.
I love insects. That's okay. It's my pal.
No, I don't think so.
That's Peanut in another disguise.
Let me show you something here if I can find it.
I'll send all mine over. I bought marshmallows for the grandkid and now I got them in my cabinet.
See this right here? Where is it? Where's my?
Over here.
I don't know, you're fading in and out.
No, the background, it's making it not visible.
It's a
Fly swatter.
fly swatter. So go after.
Don't swat
I'm
me.
gonna go after PJ's bug over there.
No, leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Let it live.
It's a virtual bug. It's okay.
What is it? What is it, Patrick?
This is a Grand Canyon trip, and this is a large ant that was walking around on the sand there.
Oh, wow.
So ants, I got a billion small ones that come in whenever it gets hot or when it gets rainy. You know, we get invaded by little ants.
Those little Argentinian ants, which are really interesting because they colonize and do not fight other colonies of other Argentinian ants. So they're the biggest ant colony in the world. They're all connected up pretty much.
Wow.
We live right on top of
for
one.
that.
Chili oil.
It almost looks like a ladybug from this view. One of those black ladybugs.
It's actually a beetle of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I just put it in there right now, just for the shock value.
Morning, Terry.
Good morning, President Lori.
How's things in your household?
Well, the deck is finished, so we're putting stuff back on the deck. Just staying busy, staying occupied. Best you can do.
That's all you can do. And the dogs are happy to be free now. I saw that.
Oh, yes.
So
They should
I
be
have a little
barking any minute
announcement.
now.
Hi, Al.
Good morning, everyone. If any of the guys are looking for a barber that's not booked out for a month, there's a new barber shop that just opened up yesterday in Occidental, and his schedule is pretty open. So it's a 20-minute drive from downtown Sebastopol.
Joe,
Joe, you better call immediately.
you better call in.
His name is Bernie the Barber.
Bernie the Barber.
Where is he located? Where's his shop?
On Main Street.
On Main Street? Okay.
You can't miss it.
Okay.
I have clippers if anybody needs some help. I'm pretty good at it.
I've trimmed Steve's hair.
Yeah,
I
you
have
look
some
great.
clippers and I'm not good at it, but I would try. I'm real good with horses.
Start with Al.
On beards. I might be interested.
Yeah. Darlene, are you there? I saw her somewhere.
Okay.
Just
There she
unmute.
is.
Hey, I'm feeding my dog still, so give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Yes, I know. I cut up the hot dogs for my dogs this morning too, because they're spoiled.
Yeah.
And-
I fed my kitties. They get their treats in the morning. Hairball treats.
Hairball treats.
Hard with the laptop.
President Lori,
Yes.
I could announce that this Saturday at 4:30 at 450 Florence, I'm going to be planning a peace poll for the recipient of the Noon Club, the guy who purchased the peace poll. And he's having socially distanced ceremony with snacks and whatnot.
Excellent.
You're all welcome to come if you'd like.
I'm going to be in Sacramento with my grandbabies, but thank you for that. And it is 7:30, guys. So here we go. We're going to start the meeting and I'm going to share my screen. And so we double click on that. And I move this down. And I do the slideshow. Barbara's here, so I'm showing her how I
I'm
work on
learning.
this from the beginning.
You're together?
No,
Yeah.
it's fake. Yes, we are. Okay, it is June 10th. It's my granddaughter's 6th birthday. And we're here for our Rotary meeting. And we need to come here and do this. Jerry, would you like to lead the pledge, please?
Yeah, good morning. You know, I want to give a little brief history and comment about the pledge. The basic form of it was penned by a minister in 1892. It's undergone a few tweaks since then, but for 128 years, it's ended with the same 6 words, with liberty and justice for all. And I have to say, every week when we recite the pledge, I cringe a little at the hypocrisy of those last 6 words. And knowing that they were written, that it's been in the pledge since 1892, just as Jim Crow laws were spreading and about to be enshrined by our US Supreme Court as legal, makes them even a little more cringeworthy. But today, rather than just cringe, I'm going to think of things that maybe I can do and maybe we as a society can do to make them really true. So I invite you to join me as we say the pledge today. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United
States of America,
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
God,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm going to mute everybody, and then if you need to talk, then unmute. Okay, so you've been here, mute all.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we go. And back to this. Nick, you have some words of wisdom?
I'm muting.
I do. Historically, pandemics have forced humans to break with the past and imagine their world anew. It is a portal, a gateway between one world and the next. We can choose to walk through it, dragging the carcasses of our prejudice and hatred, our avarice, our data banks and dead ideas, our dead rivers and smoky skies behind us. Or we can walk through lightly with little luggage, ready to imagine another world and ready to fight for it.
Good job.
Who said that, Nick?
That is Arundhati Roy.
Okay.
She's the bomb. She's fabulous.
Okay, wave to everybody, your Zooming friends at the Rotary Club of Sebastopol.
I keep disappearing against the black.
I know, it's bad.
Yeah.
Joe, look at that. You're naked here today. What are we going to say?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty impressive body, I must say.
The head part matches.
That's true. That's true. Feet look rather large too. Pretty sunny this morning. So how about a little of "You Are My Sunshine"?
Okay, everybody can unmute to sing, and
There we go.
Chorus.
That's maybe not a good idea for Bruce.
I would say, hey, folks, when we sing, look at Joe and coordinate your words with his, so we aren't all over the map when we sing.
All right.
Come on, that's what makes it
Yeah,
All of that
wave your
said-
hand, watch his lips.
Watch my lips.
Read my lips.
We're going to start with the verse as we always do. So here we go. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was taken, and I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. I'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Hey, good job. All right. So do we have any cyber Rotarians?
I was hoping that Ibrahim from Kampala, Uganda was going to join us, but I don't see him on here.
Oh, maybe he'll jump in a little while.
Yeah, okay.
Give him a call.
So
It's
this
evening
was
over there.
This is an interesting slide. If you look at the history of the Rotary wheel,
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Any guests, cyber guests? Anybody got cyber guests in their house or jumping in?
Sheba, are you on the line yet?
Nope, not yet. It doesn't look like.
I will introduce Sheba Person-Whitley from the Sonoma County Economic Development Board.
Okay,
later.
when the time comes. All right, no birthdays this week. No happy anniversaries this week. No Rotary anniversaries this week. And the happenings, we have our Zoom meetings. On Monday is the incoming and outgoing board members. On the 27th, out with the old and in with the new. Yay! And on July 1st, there's no meeting, so you get a little bit of a break. Okay, now Rod, you want to do a little foundation report? And here's the first slide.
Well, this is the end of Lori's term in terms of reporting for our giving to Rotary International. And so first, I thought the most dramatic way to visualize that was a little bar graph. And it's actually pretty exciting. This is when we think of how bad things are in the world, this is good news. And the yellow bar is the goal that we set for the year. And then in the middle, and this is, and to my mind, probably the most important information, the purple bar is what our club did, which was 150% of the goal. If you don't include Bruce and Helene's extremely generous gift to the foundation from the sale of their farm in Grayton. And the green bar is with the Campbell's $50,000 on top of everything else we did in our club. So we can be extremely excited about the overall number. And we can also feel good about how we did vis-a-vis the goal without that wonderful gift. So pat on the back. It sets the benchmark a little high for next year.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it.
You want your other slide? There's the other one.
Yeah, those are the actual numbers. Well, they speak for themselves.
They speak for themselves.
Anyway, I had various motorcycle parts, and our goal was to get that motorcycle put together by the end of Lori's year. So I don't know, Lori, if you can show us how we did.
How's that?
That's great.
Life is good.
Wow.
Life is
Like the
good.
eyes.
That's my ride. Now I had a BMW that I had from the my trip, but this is really the deal for me. So anyway, that's what I get to do when the sun is out and there's not much traffic. So I'm kind of enjoying it right now for a little bit of running around. It's my old lady bike.
That's beautiful.
Yep. So I want to thank all the club members for making this a successful year. And super special thanks to Bruce and Helene for making my numbers look really, really, really good. And I feel sad for Barbara because I don't think she's going to make my numbers here, but she can probably make the middle numbers. So again, Bruce and Helene, thank you very much. Thank you all the club members for exceeding my original goal even before Bruce and Helene. So give yourself a big hand. This is a tough year and we've done pretty good in my opinion with that. All right, so the week in review, here we go. Yes?
Just a note to Barbara, there may be a follow-up to this.
Oh, good job.
After July 1st, please.
After July 1st.
The DMR wants to know that too.
Okay. So Chris, you want to talk about this wonderful little activity on Saturday?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, we had a great little group show up over there by the Laguna off of Guerneville Road. You can see in the picture there on the right, it's Bill and Charlie, and we got a young man come out. His name's Ben. Just graduated Pioneer High School. And on the left here, just after we took that picture, Michael showed up. So it was perfect timing to receive the $500 check that you guys, our group, our wonderful group, has donated to Clean River Alliance. Yeah, were there any other pictures? We had.
Here we go. I don't have the one you sent way last night because this was completed and sent off. But here, look at all this junk that came out of there.
This is perfect. You can see that we cleaned underneath the bridge there. That's very close to the Laguna. You can see the water right in the background. And even though it was a low year, you can still see that there's a lot of water there. And in a high year, and when it floods, you know, all the way up to the top of the bridge there. So you can see this part of the Laguna is a floodplain. But yeah, we did some important work there. We got a lot of trash out of from the water's line there going up alongside the highway, and it included all kinds of stuff from, you can see there's an old rubber tire in the background, and I forget who picked up that doll. That doll was found in the mud somewhere.
So freaky.
Yeah.
Looks
like Chucky.
Yeah.
And
So-
that igloo water container, that's about $100 water container.
Yeah, it's a shame. You should see the stuff that gets ruined or that we have to just get rid of because, you know, there's just no way of cleaning some of this stuff. And we try to divert as much as we can. A lot of, and that day we actually, thanks to Boleto Vineyards for taking the trash from us. So it saved us some dump fees. Typically we would have to take that load to the dump, and you know, it would cost us anywhere from $30 to $80, depending on the load. And so on that weekend, it was, you know, we organized this small cleanup, and we're trying to keep our numbers low. There was 5 of us out at that location, and it was just a perfect number to work in safe groups, go out and take some action. I had 15 other, altogether that day, we had over 20 people organized throughout the watershed, doing cleanups in 2s and 3s. The following day, we were in Cloverdale. We had another group up there and worked with the Rotary. Bob Cox with the Cloverdale Rotary joined us. And throughout the weekend, we helped remove over 2,000 pounds of material.
Yay, good job.
Great weekend. We had over 30 people participating. So it was all an international Rotary effort to end plastic soup. And they've made me an official ambassador for our club. So our club now has an official ambassador for Rotary International and plastic soup.
We aren't worthy. We aren't worthy.
Well, we are, and we hope to take more action like this around our neighborhoods. And I just got an email from the county. They're going to take on, me and Bill Sauber had introduced an Adopt a Highway program to Linda Hopkins' office about 1.5 years ago. And I think we're finally going to get some movement on it.
Okay, good.
Great. Now, Chris, I also want to chime in here. Our club has raised money for food assistance, and what we did, and Michael McLaughlin could chime in, but we contributed $500 to the Clean River Alliance.
He got the check.
Yeah, to help with providing the homeless camps with water and necessary hygiene kits. So
sure.
we consider that food assistance because it's essentials for life. So
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, well, good job with that.
I'll keep you updated when we purchase that water and supplies.
Thank you.
All right.
So here's a t-shirt for our golfers out there. Not quite sure. I know one of them's a putter. I don't know what the other ones are, but I know you guys have choices there in your life when you get out there to do your thing.
See, a mashie and a niblick.
And here are the 2020 passport stamps.
Yay!
Yay! You can go to the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room,
Zoom,
and Zoom. Okay, now, thank you, Judy, for all the good messages she's sending. I loved the underwater museum and the exclusive clubs. That was an interesting day. I love looking at those. And now, Gail, are you out there? I think I saw you.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so here's a really important question for you. What kind of flower is this?
Well, it's in the orchid family.
Well, of course, but what's the name of it?
Oh, I don't know.
Little boy.
What's it sort of resemble?
Little boy. It looks like a lot of little people.
Yeah, it looks like it's.
This is what it's called, the hanging naked man orchid.
Yes.
You see the resemblance?
Yeah.
How does it reproduce?
Can only imagine.
So this was pretty interesting because I had to do some research on this when I saw that picture, and it has many, many uses. It has a medicinal use. It's an aphrodisiac. And of course, and it also is edible, and it's a Turkish delight. So
I like
that's
to think so.
it's full.
So
this is what it looks like. It looks almost like a lavender plant if you look from a distance.
So now I know why in Istanbul, in the Spice Bazaar, where they have all the displays of all the Turkish delight, and they call it Turkish Viagra.
Oh,
now
well,
I know
there you
why.
go. Now you know why. And it's illegal for people to export that. So I guess you have to go over there to get it. All right. Now, any weekly announcements from the club members?
Silence is golden.
Silence is golden.
Well, Laguna graduation last week.
Oh, how was that?
I was only there just before it started the drop off and set up the sound system, but it looked very cute, and they said they had a great attendance afterwards. I
Okay.
talked to not Lindsay because she's cleared out, but Bruce over there, and great graduation, good attendance, and it was a drive-by where students could walk in the gate, get their diploma while their family drove by.
Oh.
So we were there, I think, in spirit, certainly because we had the sound system there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great program.
Yeah, I think everybody missed, going there like we have in the past. A couple of my people here, their children graduated from Anley, and they said Anley did a great job with the drive-bys and personalized going in and taking pictures. And it'll be curious to see how they put all this together, because apparently somebody with some super editing skills is going to make a tape of all the students walking up like it really happened in person, and then provide those to the family members, which I think is kind of cool if somebody can really make that happen. And I'll be curious because, like I said, one of my staff members' daughter is an Anley graduate.
Might be Jim Walton. Jim was there taking all the pictures at Laguna.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
Okay, any other club announcements there?
Just a quick one. I've got one. It's David.
Hi, David.
And that is that I sent you an email yesterday, Lori, about an event that's going to occur tomorrow. I think it's at 11 or noon. It's a special event, a short one around polio and the polio campaign. We have about 150 million still left in match. Do I have the number right? Anyway, there's still quite a bit of money left in a match from the Gates Foundation. They're going to hold a special event tomorrow, hoping that folk will put those contributions in and we'll be able to pick up that last. As you recall, the polio campaign for the moment during this COVID time is on hold. However, they have redeployed those same folk as healthcare workers, anti-COVID healthcare workers worldwide, and that is making a difference in this pandemic. So if we can get that email out, people can go in and have a look, or just go online and say, I'm not letting that happen. But it'll be a special event with a little broadcast and some stuff like that, and an opportunity to give using a QR code that's right there on a flyer.
Will you
So-
send that link back, or maybe have Michael send it to the club? I must have gone into my spam because I didn't see it. So
Well, that's where all my emails go. But
no, they don't. I get
yeah,
some
no,
of them.
I'll send it out post haste. I'll send it out in the next little couple minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I talked to Linda yesterday, and she's been in contact with Larry, who hasn't actually moved 100% yet.
Oh.
And we're going to try and coordinate next week taking his plaque to him. And since the world is opened a little bit and we can have a few people, I know Linda, and I just thought about this morning, it would be nice if maybe there were 4 or 5 of us that went to present him with his clock and plaque. So if anybody's interested, once we have a date and time, I can let you know. Linda was going to check her schedule, and mine is kind of open next week. So we were thinking that would be a good thing to do before he actually officially goes.
Yeah, Lori?
Yes.
In addition to the plaque, I have a Paul
Harris. Mm-hmm.
for Larry.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So do you want to go, Rod, or do you want to get that to me and we'll present that as well?
Yeah, I'll look at my calendar and then I'll.
Yeah, once Linda checks her schedule.
Let me know when it is too, please.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay.
And I have something too. I have a little stuffed animal that Michael and I have been wanting to give him for a long time.
Okay.
It's a little chef.
Do you want to go, Kathy?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
Sure, I'll
all right.
go.
Once we get the date, we'll let everybody know, and then, you know, even if we had to do like a drive-by, that might be something. If there was more than 4 or 5 of us.
Oh, that would be fun.
Then
yeah, I'd be interested too. This Parisian Rendezvous chef, he did a great job.
Yeah, he did a good job. Okay.
I have a request from one of our members.
Okay.
For an announcement. Patrick, I saw on Facebook that you and Ellie are back out at the coast doing bird watching or bird counting or whatever. And I just wondered if you could give a little brief report of what bird action is going on at the coast these days.
Well, Ellie and her crew went out this week, and we monitor on a weekly basis out at near Goat Rock, and it's called Gull Rock, even though there's Western gulls on there. But it's on the Cordham Trail, which runs north-south along the coast at Goat Rock area. And there's a count that's made. And with the virus, when we weren't able to get out there at the beginning of the season, when the birds start to come onto this rock for mating purposes and for raising chicks. And consequently, it's always this scrum that goes on because there's thousands of birds on this rock that are vying for the flattest ground or areas that they can raise their own chicks. And so there's a lot of common murres that are out there, and those are like 1,500 common murres. But there's also Brandt's cormorants that are out there. There's pigeon guillemots, and these are all, ocean birds that are forced to come onto a rock in a safe environment for them as much as they can to build nests and raise their chicks. And then it's a matter of fledging, and eventually in late August, the majority of them will be in the water, rafting up together. And then they disperse and go out into the ocean to see how things are going to be in terms of food. And with the winds that have been coming up, it upwells a lot of food. So there is a good chance that a lot of these a lot of these birds are going to make it, through their first year, which usually has a lot of loss, as you know. So anyway, it's a gorgeous time out there, and the weather has been spectacular. It's really windy. But thanks for asking, Jerry. I have a question for the club. Is there any club response? I took a look online at International and our club to see if there's any response to what's going on currently in the unrest in America and the Black Lives Matter situation. And I wonder, is there any direction at all that Rotary is going to support these efforts for social justice? Is there anything we're going to do as a club? Is there anything International is going to do for America? What's people's thoughts out there?
Okay.
Meaning you guys.
I have regular weekly meetings as president-elect with District Governor-elect Doug, and we haven't seen anything coming down the pike from RI, and I don't expect RI to say anything because they stay out of this type of issue. Since they're, it's an international organization, they cannot get involved. They're political in anything political. So I would think that anything that would come out as Rotarians, it would be a club-based response.
I'd like to add that I don't really believe it's political, but I'd like to see Rotary do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. This is not political. This is humanity.
Right.
There was something.
Or I would see this as a political issue and just stay the hell away because
we don't
get involved anywhere in the world in this type of stuff.
There was something that's
Silence is complicit then.
Yeah.
So Terry, you wanted to say something? You saw something?
Thank you. Yeah, there's something this morning or late last night on a number of clubs out of the city, and I was on a small screen, so I couldn't tell who they all were. It was just a simple statement of support. It wasn't overbearing. Something I think like that is vital, honestly.
Right. Well, that's it. The clubs can do that type of thing, but the RI is not going to get it in the middle of any of it.
No, they should.
Well, I think they're missing a bet because the old quote, which still stands, is that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for men of goodwill to do nothing.
Right. So I think maybe we should put that into our community service department. And I personally, as the president and going out as the president, think we should make a statement or support it somehow, but I think that's a committee decision. I don't know if we want to do a political committee or not a political, because we can't call it
community service.
Community service. So
That's the
let's let community service figure out what's going to be best. I think our whole club is on board with this.
Right.
And I think that's a smart thing to do.
Can I suggest that something be drafted by the committee as soon as possible for inclusion onto our website? Just a statement to begin with, and then the club can figure out what real action can we do to support the efforts in America for change. Because this is not political, this is systemic.
Right.
So that's my position. And if RI doesn't want to get involved, well, I'm sad for that.
RI firmly believes that clubs drive this type of thing.
Well, I'm certainly in favor of us supporting the movement and to work on Black Lives Matter, but I think we need to be careful with defunding the police. That could be a hot button issue.
Well, I think it needs to be, first off, we're going to stop the conversation because it's time for the speaker. It needs to be all lives matter. And
no.
Well,
That's why we shouldn't.
Yeah, we're gonna let the community service people come up with something. We'll put it on the website. And Charlie, do you know if our speaker has jumped in yet? Sheba, are you on yet?
Yeah, I logged on about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, goody.
Okay, so Charlie, do you want to announce our speaker? Charlie, where'd you go? Unmute yourself.
He's there somewhere because he just sent me an email.
And I love your background. I love your shirt too.
Thank you.
Those are my colors.
I'm
Okay.
raising my desk so I can stand up.
There you go. Okay, Charlie.
I apologize. I tried to unmute myself by hitting the space button and all it did was
Sheba,
put spaces all over the screen.
Sheba, do you have a slide presentation?
I do not. I was really going to keep it really informal, just
Okay.
to talk about what we've been working on and then open it up for questions.
Okay, so Charlie, go for it.
Okay, so the Sonoma County Economic Development Board is a group that focuses on a healthy economy here by helping businesses, and it provides no-cost consulting services to business, whether they're starting up or relocating or growing in Sonoma County. And they also collect and analyze and publish commerce and trade data for the county. And Sheba Person-Whitley is the executive director of the Economic Development Board. She, prior to her appointment here, she was the executive director with the city of Stockton, with their economic development group. And before that, she was a senior international trade manager for the Louisiana Economic Development Board. So, and she served as a subject matter expert in commerce and trade for several state boards and committees around the world, including the US, Mexico, Canada, UK, and the United Arab Emirates. So Sheba, this is a timely visit. Thank you for making time for us today, and it's all yours.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for having me, everyone. And it's great to be with you all virtually speaking. That is what we're all doing and struggling with this whole new normal, at least for the interim time. So thank you for having me. I just want to provide a brief update as to what EDB has been doing. As you can imagine, we have been thrust into the spotlight in a way that a lot of people wouldn't have anticipated. A lot of people throughout the county don't even know what EDB is or what we do, or had never heard of us. I actually was on a radio station over the weekend, and the two hosts said, you know what, forgive us, we actually had never even heard of that organization before. I'm like, it's okay, I get it. And now that we are in this situation where we're dealing with two crises, the economic as well as the pandemic, everyone is like, okay, how do we think about recovery? How do we think about reopening? Who could help us with resources? And so we're just happy to be here to be of service and to be a support to the business community overall. A lot of what we've been doing over the last few months really has been a few different things, helping businesses with business assistance. And so as Charlie talked about earlier, we usually would do things like data collection, making sure that people knew what resources were available, market research. If you wanted to open a business, we will help you with that. If you want technical assistance on knowing who your competitors are in the area, we can help you with that. We can help you with site selection and all sorts of things. And ironically enough, we actually are still getting calls every single week for entrepreneurs and small businesses who either want to open or want to start a relocate here to Sonoma County. So that might be something that people might not expect to be seeing in this particular time, but for us, we know that a lot of times, oftentimes when people are in situations where they're facing a layoff, that really does spur entrepreneurship just out of necessity. People are trying to figure out, how do I survive in this current environment? And so that's been something interesting. We're continuing to do that work. We are also really heavily focused on making sure people understand what they need to do to be prepared to reopen. So we're seeing more and more reopening. We've seen that with all these different amendments that have come out from public health and all the health orders that have changed and allow for more and more and more activity. But we also know that you need to focus on two things. You need to think about safety for your staff and employees as they're re-entering into the workspace, and you have to think about the safety of your consumers. And what that really speaks to is, how do you think about your operations? How do you lay out your internal space a little bit differently to promote physical distancing? How do you think about sanitation, and what are your business operations going to do to think about sanitation and creating an environment that is really something that your staff feels confident in and that your consumers feel confident in as they enter into the space. So on our site, it's called SoCo Launch. You can just do SoCo Launch, it comes up. There's a ton of information, a wealth of information on best management practices. Again, those aren't developed by us. It's really that this is a collaborative effort between private business industry and our team, just pulling people together saying, hey, how would you address this? Tell us how you would mitigate. Tell us how you feel like you can create a safe environment. All that information is on our website, as well as state guidance. I will say here in Sonoma County, we were actually ahead of the curve. We were developing guidance on mitigation before the state even released them, and had them up online several weeks before the state even released anything. And so I do think that has helped a lot of our small business, particularly ones that might not be a member of a trade association or any sort of group or chamber. They're out there trying to figure out on their own, how do I mitigate? How do I think about safety? It's something that they wouldn't normally have to do in terms of like hand washing stations or sanitizer and, you know, putting up plexiglass. That's not something that a lot of businesses would normally have to think about. And so we just want to be able to provide those resources. We also have a link on our site from that same page about what's open, because I will be the first to admit that the public health orders, as they exist now, are very difficult, challenging documents. They are very, very lengthy. Oftentimes they cause a great deal of confusion. I do think that is unintentional, but the result is a lot of confusion. And so we were trying to just tell people, okay, what's open for business? People just want to know what's open. So we have all of that on our site as well. We are moving into this new phase of further opening. So there was some guidance that came out on Friday that really speaks to what we're going to see in this next round. What I will say, which is really refreshing, is to know in advance, because typically you get an announcement from the governor, or you get an announcement from California Department of Public Health, and maybe it happens on a Tuesday, and they'll say, effective tomorrow, we're going to allow counties to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to open. And it's no advance notice, and it leaves counties scrambling, trying to catch up, trying to think about, okay, do I need to change my order? What needs to happen? What are the testing results telling us? Are we even ready for that? So the refreshing thing is we saw an announcement late last week that is looking ahead. And so the county has said that we feel like we'll be in a position, and public health feels like they will be in a position to move forward with reopening campgrounds, which is going to be huge, especially out in the West County area, hotels, non-spectator professional sports, card rooms, racetracks, museums, galleries, zoos, aquariums, fitness facilities, which is huge. We continue to get a ton of emails and calls every single day from gyms and fitness facilities, yoga studios and the like, who are like, hey, I'm showing you pictures. I can distance, I can mitigate, I can do appointment only. Please let me open. So that's going to be so impactful for them. Music, film, and television production, restaurants without some of the previous restrictions, bars and wineries, as well as some family restaurants and family entertainment, that weren't previously allowed, or they were allowed with lots of restrictions. So I think that's going to be absolutely huge to our local economy and our communities, because so much of what we have here in Sonoma County and what makes us so wonderful is this hospitality and tourism based economy. And that's certainly not the only industry, but that is a huge part of our economy. And we are all suffering because people had not been allowed to operate. So this is going to be critical, especially with the lodging opening up. That's going to allow more people to come into the county. I know that there's still a great deal of anxiety about that, about people coming in, about people staying. But I will say that what I've learned and what I've seen, and the message I would share, is that all the small businesses, all the local businesses that I've been talking with and my team has been talking with, everyone really genuinely wants to do the right thing. I have really great deal of confidence in our local businesses. People want to create safe environments. They're going to do the sanitation. They want to create something that builds consumer confidence, because they know if they aren't doing something that creates an environment where people feel safe, they're not going to come in and patronize your business anyway. So then that's going to, shortcuts defeat the purpose really in the long run. So with that, I will stop talking and allow people to ask any questions they might have about what EDB has been doing and where we're looking ahead.
I was
Have
wondering
they-
if sorry, I wondered if the Economic Development Board is tracking the spread of the virus as it correlates to the added openings going on. Like I think now we're seeing increases because of the Memorial Day activities. Were you focused on that with a 2-week delay? Go ahead.
So that is the Department of Health and Public Health Officer. They are focusing on that. So what Dr. Mace's position has been, and I don't think it's just her, I've seen and heard this from other public health officers, is the reason they don't open everything at once is it allows them to pinpoint if there is an uptick in cases or if there is community spread. They're able to sort of differentiate what sorts of activities were likely to be the cause of that. And then what she said on a call last night, I happened to be on a call with her with the tourism industry and tourism stakeholders. She said that their approach moving forward is if they do see an uptick, that they immediately are going to be doing contact tracing, trying to determine what specific business it was tied to, and not just looking at it as, oh, this industry opened or this type of activity opened, and therefore we're going to pull everything back, but really being more surgical about it, which I think is the most equitable way to address it, not, necessarily saying, oh, because they allow dining, then therefore all dining is bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks.
I have a question regarding projections. We're all assuming a certain normal will return. Have you been making alternative scenarios for how it would affect the county if our old ways do not return, and how that would affect us?
Yeah, absolutely. So my thing and what I've been telling people is we have to adjust our way of operations overall. And the biggest impact and implication for me, in my eyes, is the large gatherings. I don't think we're going to see large gatherings, and that's going to have a huge impact on the hospitality industry and the way all of us operate, especially even my organization, EDB, normally would do this huge fall forecast with Dr. Thornburg in the fall. You have over 500 people coming together. Well, that's not going to happen. I've told everyone, like, don't expect it. It's not going to happen. Really, it's about being creative and making that pivot to do things in a more creative way. So whether that be virtual meetings or whether that be trying to pull together small groups of people with physical distancing and more small groups. I think the biggest impact, again, is going to be on the hospitality industry, where they, of course, count on weddings, right? They count on conferences and sporting events with spectators. You count on those things. And the survey data is really telling that, up to 75 to 80% of respondents say that they will not feel comfortable gathering for a large event, like a sporting event or a large wedding, absent of a vaccine. And so for us, it's really about how do we make sure that businesses understand their value proposition? So whether that be e-commerce, so there's businesses that are now selling online who never would have thought about doing that before. How do they think about their operations in terms of shift work? Maybe they only would have run one shift, but because they need to create physical distancing, now they're gonna offer rotations and more than one shift to allow their staff to be able to come back online and feel comfortable. So it's all of those different things. And I do think, unfortunately and fortunately, crisis and bad situations really do spur innovation. We've seen people pivot. We've seen them take on things that they never would have anticipated being having to do or even being able to do in order to survive. And it's all about pulling all that information together, making sure that people understand, hey, if you want to get into e-commerce and you've never done that before, well, we can offer a workshop to help you think through that process. If you've never been on social media, right? There's a lot of people who've never used Facebook platform for their business to boost their business. Well, here's information on how to do that. So for me, it's all about innovation and creativity and timely resources.
Shiva, I'm interested in the EDB's budget. Where do you get your funding from? What are you anticipating in terms of cuts or needs to supplement going forward?
Oh, it's gonna be rough. I'll be perfectly transparent. We got a memo. All departments in the county got a memo about a week and a half ago, and based on your funding, you were told to anticipate a percentage of cut. And so EDB budget, operation budget is 100% TOT. So it's the transient occupancy tax, which definitely puts us in a very precarious situation with our budget. We were told to anticipate 30% budget cut. So if you imagine 30, yeah, trying to do everything you need to do with 1/3 less is going to be really, really challenging. We've always tried to be really creative with funding. And so a couple of our positions are actually funded through grant funding, through federal grants. But other than that, everything else is TOT. And so we're going to have to go through the exercise of really advocating for why now more than ever, we need to be made whole as much as possible. I don't think we could get by with no cuts, but you know, if we could stave off the 30%, that would be huge.
You know, I know that Hawaii still has the 2-week quarantine for people that fly in. And they're not talking about lifting that for a while. If we're opening tourism here, are they going to be saying something like that or not? Or do you know?
I don't know. No, I will say what's come down out of the state at the state level is still discouraging inter-county travel, right? So that comes out of the state, out of the governor's office and out of CDPH, California Department of Public Health. They are still saying, hey, we don't want people traveling from one county to another, because they know if you're coming from some places where they have a ton of cases, then they could spark something in another location. But I do think we have to all just be honest with ourselves. People are coming here anyway. I'm hearing about, especially out in West County, especially, you know, Russian River and the beaches, and, you know, people are coming from Sacramento, they're coming from the Bay, and another challenge is, you know, we still here in this county have things like facial coverings as a requirement, and really trying to make sure that if people come, that they are thinking about the safety of themselves, but also the safety of other people that they encounter, and why we all need to just do our part. And I know that Sonoma County Tourism is working on a campaign called Safe Traveler about that, so that if people come here, there's an understanding, like, listen, like, we want you to come, you know, but we want you to be safe, and we want you to take the safety of our community as seriously as we hope that you take your own personal safety as well.
Sheba, you talked earlier about if there is a surge because of new openings, because of an increased number of industries opening their doors, contact tracing. Well, I have two thoughts about that. With a large number of people coming in from out of the area, how on earth can you do contact tracing? And second of all, do we have in place here in the county a sufficient number of trained people to do contact tracing?
So from that's over at Health, my colleagues at Health, but my understanding, this is what I've been told, is that they have done a large push to hire a ton of contract tracers. I don't know, I get a little tongue tied every time I try to say that phrase, but they have hired a ton. They went out to Sonoma State and did some hiring, SRJC and others. And I also was told that they've made a concerted effort to hire bicultural, bilingual, because we see the cases are disproportionately impacting the Hispanic Latino communities, and how to get people educated about safety, about physical distancing, about what to do if you feel ill, and all of those different things, because that's so critically important. The first part of your question, because I'm not in health, I honestly don't know how they handle that. I don't know, but I do know that what I was told is that they make every concerted effort to reach out to everyone that has had contact with an individual. So of course, when you're thinking about tourism, that is very, very difficult. And I really don't know how they do that. I can definitely see the concern though. Absolutely.
Any other questions for her? Well, thank you very much for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you for having me. And anything anyone needs, if you happen to know of a small business that's in need, please send them our way. People are answering the phone and they're returning emails every day. So,
Well, and we're happy to have, you know, you guys out there helping the small business and even the large business and changing the direction in which people may go in order to survive these times, because it is crazy for everybody.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Sheila.
Okay, Michael, who was number 10 today?
Number 10 was Scott.
Okay, Scott, I'll send you a lotto card, and I put, Nick, yours went out in yesterday's mail, so look for it pretty soon, and hopefully you'll win some big bucks.
Hey, somebody already won the $410 million.
Oh,
lotto.
no, it wasn't
Oh,
Daniel.
wow.
A
That was a
murder.
lot of- It's not the scratcher.
Oh, that wasn't the
Hey,
scratcher?
Lori,
Okay.
Lori, this is Michael.
Yes.
I need to know who two people are so I can keep track of attendance if anybody cares. One is IMAC. Who is IMAC?
That
Okay.
was Chris Brocate.
Okay, and who is phone number ends in 8035?
I think that's Kathy who
That
logs
would-
in twice.
No, that would be Nancy.
Oh, Nancy that logs in twice. Okay.
Okay.
Because I have to log in to see you and then I have to log in to hear you. I don't know.
Oh,
Right.
double
All right.
double duty for you.
And Michael,
Okay,
don't
two
forget
two
I'm
attendance
here.
credits.
And Barbara's here with Lori.
I think I noticed that.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty soon the name will change up there under Sebastopol Sunrise.
Yeah.
All right.
Michael?
Yes.
Glom. It's IMAC is Jim Glom.
Oh, okay.
IMAC.
Right, iPad was Chris. Yeah.
Okay.
President Lori, can I make an announcement?
Sure.
During these meetings, we're capturing screenshots and putting them on the website. Our website has a blog. It would be great if you guys could check out the blog on the website and throw a few comments up there and join the fun. So.
Okay. The website is amazing. I've been on there and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, it's
That's
very
great.
good.
And
Very,
we have-
very.
Thank you.
And they
Thank you,
posted
Jim.
pictures of our most current international projects on there too. So be sure and check that out on the blog.
But yeah, do some blogging with us. Let's make this a vibrant, interactive experience. That'd be awesome.
Okay, we will do that. It'll be my first ever blog. I will go and try and do that because I have to get with the times too.
Thanks.
All right.
Do this. I would know people that I didn't want to talk to directly. Until I'm sorry.
Oh, we don't want to talk to you, Marty. You still owe money, so you need to pay.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, Barbara sent out bills. You guys all need to send your money because my numbers have to be perfect for this year.
Oh.
All right, Dan. Do you have a joke?
I do.
Okay.
So somebody was waiting for some of the businesses to reopen to get a toothache looked at. So a patient goes into the dentist and says, "Doctor, how much will you charge me to pull this tooth?" And the dentist says, "Well, $150. The patient says, $150 for a few minutes work? The dentist says, "Well, I can pull it very slowly if you'd like."
Or I can do it cheaper with no anesthesia. All right. Well, you know, I found this from Paul Harris, and it's really super true. May Rotarians continue to be ambassadors of goodwill to high and low, rich and poor, to all races, to the devotees of all religious faiths, and to members of all political parties, purveyors of tolerance, forbearance, justice, kindliness, neighborliness, and friendliness to the inhabitants of this snug little world, the best little world in which we know. And we as Rotarians really do our best to try and help the world be a better place. And so this was from way back when. It still applies now. So I thought that was kind of a cool saying. And
I paid what I was owed. I owed too.
Marty,
good job,
if you,
Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
Marty, if you
Barbara
still have
got-
money, you still owe. So long as you still have money, you still owe.
There you go. So we still need to wear our face coverings when we go out, and here's some do's and don'ts about that. And even these little guys I saw were in masks. So I'm not quite sure how that worked, but it did. And, you know, they are opening things up a little bit and people are taking more risks. I'm not sure that we want to do that. So you can go out, but I'm going to have my meds and I'm going to have my coffee and I'm going to wear my mask and I'm going to be very careful. You know, I am going to Sacramento this weekend. That's my first time out, and only because my family over there have not left their house. So anyway, that.
Lori, I have to throw something in. That picture you showed a minute ago of the dogs with the two masks, it's a cute picture, but please understand that you are putting a dog in potentially mortal danger by doing it.
That's, yeah, with the breathing, it's true.
Yeah.
And even people that have asthma and breathing issues should not be in masks. They need face shields, you know, that, you know, and I have them here actually at the office. So they're like, I'll show you because I have lots. They're like this.
I saw him yesterday.
Yep. See?
Are they as effective as a mask?
What?
Are they as effective as a mask?
More so in ways. Different.
See, this one comes down way low. I've seen them where they're up here. They're not as effective. They will work for people that have breathing issues.
And can't wear masks.
And can't wear masks. And some people wear a mask and wear these, like if you go to the dentist, they're going to be masked, double masked, and maybe even with a face shield. So the rule really is like here at my front desk, we have plexiglass up, and my front people can have the plexiglass and wear one of these. That's a double. We're more than 6 feet away. Or they have the plexiglass and masks, which most people wear. But I have a couple staffers that have asthma, and when that flares up, they can change to the face shield, not in the back office, working directly one-on-one in the room with the patients. Everybody's in masks. And those, I have one back office person that has breathing issues, and she's been moved to a telephone type position so that she's not at risk and neither are the patients. So we just all have to do what we have to do to get through this and be as safe as possible. So,
Barbara?
Yes?
Would you like to let the club know about the food cards?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we have purchased the food cards. I've ordered Rotary stickers that we're going to put on them and on the envelopes so that whoever receives them and the stores will know that these are the Rotary cards. I'm hoping they're waiting for me at the post office today, so that we can get that assembled and then we can present them to the interchurch food pantry and get those out. But we purchased $6,000 worth of gift cards, $50 denominations from Furcrest, Pacific Market, and Andy's Produce.
Good job, community service. Good job, club members.
Yes, thank you all.
Okay, but keep the money coming in for sure.
Yeah, we can always buy more cards.
Yep. Okay, Joe, you want to take us out?
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, keep smiling on the head. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Bye all. Thank you all. all see you at the board meeting on Monday. Those that want
Monday.
I sent the link to the incoming and outgoing board members. If any of the other club members want to join, let us know and we'll get you the link, okay?
Yep.
All right. That should be the end of it. Thank you all for being here.
Bye all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Joe.
Yeah.